Portal 2 has existed for around 13 years. Goddamn, I'm old. In that time, people have done all sorts of things with this game. Speedrunning, fan-made mods, and the topic of today's video, custom test chambers. For those unaware, Portal 2 introduced a custom test chamber maker that gives you access to different Portal assets, allowing you to make your own chambers. This editor was both easy to understand and simple to use, which allowed you to make some pretty creative chambers. And for the past 13 years now, people have been designing their test chambers in this editor. And one of those people was a 12-year-old me. Yeah, that's right. I made some test chambers, and people who've known me for a while would know I actually made a video showing them off. But I actually unlisted them a while ago, because they were really sloppily made. But now that I'm a fully grown explainer, I thought it would be fun to take a trip down memory lane and revisit some of these older chambers, since I still have some of them. And hey, maybe even make a brand new chamber with the knowledge I have now. But before we begin, let's take a look at one of the older Portal 2 videos of mine. Okay, so before we actually play some of the chambers, we have to look at an old video that dates all the way back to 2021. This was back in the day when I was making videos in my parents' room with my old Dell laptop that could barely run Source Filmmaker. And I had no clue what I was doing when it came to OBS, so the video was recorded like this. So, for your convenience, and my sanity, there we go. The first chamber in this video is called The First Chamber, which was actually not the first chamber I made. Okay, so, first impressions. It's unnecessarily spacious. With a lot of my old test chambers, a constant theme you're gonna see is I had a lot of issues with scaling. There's a lot of wasted space. Also, there's a single turn in front of the button for some reason. Anyways, we place the cube on the button, and the ball drops for some reason. Don't know why I didn't just use another cube. Again, this room is way too big, and that's the test. The next test chamber is called Gel and Tractor Beam Testing. I at least had a decent scale on this test. Like the name implies, it's all about gels and excursion funnels. And you know what? This test ain't actually half bad. It has some pretty decent execution of all the mechanics. But one problem though, these tests can be solved a lot easier than I thought they could be. Here for instance, I used gel to bounce into this room when I could have just placed a portal in the ceiling. But hey, it was a neat idea to have to use the speed road to jump into the funnel so you could go along the chamber. And that's all the chambers in the video. Just two. One was pretty bad and the other was alright. On to the actual test now. Okay, so for the chambers we'll be actually playing, they were made using B-Mod, a mod that adds more stuff to the test chambers. I only really used it to medium effect though, so it shouldn't really affect any of my opinions and such. Anyways, this series of tests are called Portal Testing Again. Why did I name them that? Well, I wanted these series of tests to be like a fan-made Portal game, so you could play them in normal run until you beat the final one. It's why the chambers are now labeled as Chamber X and such. On paper it sounds like a cool idea, but it easily falls apart when you realize there's nothing stopping you from skipping to the next chamber. But luckily these chambers were so easy that you didn't even need to skip them. How easy, you ask? Let's get to the first one and see. Okay, so I'm actually going to be combining these two chambers together because they're essentially the same. Chamber 1 and Chamber 2. All we have to do here is place a cube on a button, and there's not much to it. Now, let's just get into an actual test chamber. Okay, now this is an actual test. So all you have to do here is use momentum to fling yourself from platform to platform. That's pretty much it in the complexity. It's very straightforward, aka there's no puzzle. Just move here, place that there, push the button, etc. So let's just move on to the next one. Right, Chamber 4. This one feels more like a puzzle. But there is, however, one small problem. This wizard right here is useless since the orange portal is always available and there aren't any other portal surfaces, so I don't really know why I added it here. The only kind of interesting thing in this chamber is that this cube drops from the ceiling to a fizzler, and you have to catch it before it hits the fizzler, obviously. But aside from that, there isn't too much here. So let's move on to the next. Okay, so this is definitely one of the widest chambers I've ever seen. And that's surprising, considering, you know, it's Portal. It's a pretty wide game already. So, this chamber focuses a lot on momentum. It's essentially a recreation of Chamber 18 from Portal 1. What this chamber lacks from the original, however, is that if you don't do a jump correctly, nothing bad happens. There's no real danger to this chamber, which is what makes it really boring. Aside from that, the companion cube is here for some reason. And yeah, not much really to it. On to the next. Okay, so Chamber 6 is definitely getting closer to a puzzle. But it's still really basic. The puzzle's not that hard. It's just placing portals in the right place and such. Again, a lot of my old chambers just didn't have any danger or challenge to them. They would just go here and do thing. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not every chamber needs to have some kind of maze of death traps while you do the puzzle. However, if you only have chill puzzles like this, then the rest of the chambers start to get boring. But with that said, on to the next one. Chamber 7. And coincidentally from this point on, each chamber will have some kind of danger to the player. Looks like I learned my lesson after a while. So this is the first chamber to use multiple rooms. Not very well though, considering the chamber is really small and really didn't need 2 rooms, but whatever. So, this chamber uses funnels as its main gimmick. Travel here and there. Again, there's not too much complexity considering how simple it is. So, let's get on to the next chamber. Okay, I'm just going to speed past this one here. So, Chamber 8 uses hard light bridges as its mechanic, and it also uses a random launch pad in the middle. Aside from that though, there's nothing really to talk about this one here either. It's just very basic. I'm also using this chance to throw in Chamber 9 as well, because it's just as basic, and come on, what do you expect from me? Just look at these chambers. What more do I have to say? This is the final chamber of my old collection of tests. This chamber consists of 3 rooms, each with one different gimmick. The first one is turret lineup. You have to hit these 3 turns with the laser in order to progress to the next chamber, which is pretty much identical to Chamber 7. However, the next room is where things actually get interesting. You have to use the gels in combination with the bridges in order to make your way up to the door. This here is an actually good puzzle section, and it's kind of nice that the final one of these chambers I made actually ended with a good puzzle. Finally made something good after all. Good job, old me.
Hey guys, it's the non-fictional explainer here again with another
Alright, enough of that. Anyways, now it's time to right the wrongs of the past. And with all the new knowledge I've gained, make a brand new test chamber. But coming up with original ideas is hard, so instead, I'm just gonna remake the first one I showed in this video. And voila! I installed a newer version of BMO in order to change the texture on the walls, as well as adding this little broken TV with GLaDOS on it. Now, this chamber is really basic. However, that's fine for some puzzle like this. It doesn't need anything too complex. And yeah, I uploaded this test chamber to the workshop so you can all go ahead and try it out. All my old chambers are also in the workshop as well if you want to play them for whatever reason. And with that said, this is pretty much the end of the video. Hopefully you managed to get a laugh or 2 out of this video. And hey, maybe now you're inspired to go and make your own test chambers. Anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching.
He's got the face of Bendy, making videos for thrill, explaining all the secrets, taking you on a thrill. But behind the scenes, there's more than meets the eye. Shady stuff since 2017. He's been flying high. He dives into the lore of the game called Five Nights, showing all the clues, keeping fans up all the nights. But the truth is twisted like the animatronics roll. Can we trust this explainer, or is it all a show? Video after video, he spins his web of lies, but the truth is hidden, hiding in disguise. His pain is gain, it's a mystery untold, mystery with shady dealings.
Hey guys, it's the non-fictional explainer here again with another SFM animation.